Okay. Ceremonic was actually off. I'm not sure why it actually had a power issue. So I think we should be good now. Okay, thank you very much.
All right, hello again. We are back from our cruise. Had a great time on the Carnival Horizon.
Yeah, if you go ahead and start, I'm doing something here just to to ensure that, at least hopefully ensure that we don't lose power with our wireless microphone receiver.
So yeah, we're back. I guess my biggest impression of the cruise is that it felt like we never really left. It felt like a Carnival cruise. It didn't feel like there was anything different after that first initial day.
Staying on. Okay, I'm hoping that actually does it. Oh my gosh. Super sorry about these audio issues. My goodness. Okay.
Oh, thank you for being our beta tester.
Yeah, exactly. When you start a new YouTube channel, there definitely can be some hiccups.
There's a learning curve.
Okay, yeah, and oh, thanks, Travel with Nick. Thanks for joining and giving us a little preview on that sound situation. Okay, all right. So you were saying, Julie?
Yeah, so I mean, it was a Carnival cruise. It was a lot of fun. It felt like a regular Carnival cruise. It didn't really feel all that different. After the initial embarkation, where people had our masks on and everything, like from that point on, once the mask came off, it really just felt like a regular cruise.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Which could be good or bad depending on your comfort level. I felt very comfortable and safe. I don't know, Reggie, how about you? Oh.
Perfect timing. Yeah, I definitely felt super comfortable and safe. But I think as we mentioned previously, I think one of the reasons why we may have felt a little bit more comfortable and a little safer is because we've actually already, quote unquote, trialed our vaccines. With us going to Universal Studios, completely no social distancing, no mask, filling every seat. We've had that experience and we didn't have any issues there. And of course, there's no proof of vaccine necessary there. And then I also had a trip to Las Vegas, where also completely unmasked and didn't have any issues. So, having that background and experience, and then knowing that we were 95% vaccinated on board and the crew being 100% vaccinated, I felt completely safe and very comfortable.
Yep, absolutely. So some other general observations. So something about this cruise, the passenger mix was definitely different than your typical Carnival cruise. It definitely skewed a little bit older age-wise. Definitely more seasoned cruisers, for sure. And it was a little bit noticeable. It was a little bit different. So one of the things that was very different is the music. I don't know, if you've been on a Carnival cruise before, the first thing you do is walk into the atrium and there is a party going on with all of like the newest club mixes and it's a hardcore party. That was not this. There was lots of music from the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. I don't think I heard a single Pitbull song. Did not hear.
It's true.
Any...
At least in general, it's so there were some. I think they like during deck parties. There
Yeah,
may
I think
have
at the
been,
deck parties they probably had maybe some more recent things. I'm not completely sure about that though, because people were definitely mentioning the band playing 70s, 80s, and early 90s music.
Well, that's the band. That's also the band. But that me actually saying this, maybe at the deck parties. Guess what we didn't do? Deck parties.
Yeah, we didn't go to the deck parties.
We didn't go to the deck parties. I did not. My normal situation is I'll do a comedy show. Well, we'll do dinner, then we'll do either one of the comedy shows and or a show with the three of us, and then I hit the casino. If I am feeling still energetic when I'm done gambling, then sometimes I will go and just see what's going on in the disco. I didn't do that this time. I don't know.
I feel like you didn't miss much. We had a really large, active Facebook group.
Very active.
So I think there was over 700 people in the Facebook group. So very active. I think if things were going on in the nightclub, there would have been pictures. There were a few pictures from deck parties, but there really was not your typical the club was jumping tonight.
Right.
I didn't see any posts about it, messages about it. There were a lot of people playing card and dice games in the Lido.
That's true. Yeah.
It was not your typical carnival party cruise.
Yeah, exactly. So, but even still, I didn't even go and look to see if there was anything going on. Because sometimes I even just like to, even if there's not, I'm usually not out there on the dance floor dancing anyway, but I like to listen to the music, right? I'm a bedroom DJ, so I like to see what, the DJs on board are mixing and stuff like that. So, but I didn't even do that, and I didn't even think about it, which is really weird. Does it mean that I'm getting too old or something? Old
guy in the club.
Wow.
This guy right here.
Wow.
But yeah, so that was definitely different. Music, different. Age group, different. It was very, very clean. The ship was the cleanest carnival ship I've ever been on. The bathrooms were clean. The Lido was clean. They were cleaning all the time.
Very true.
Everything was clean. So that was a really nice thing to see.
Definitely. So let's see. What else do we have here?
The food.
Yeah, food. One of the notes that Julie made, and it's pretty funny because we've had a situation. We had a situation that was hilarious to us back when we did our first and only Princess cruise, nice, very cool. Bedroom DJ as well. That's awesome. So we had the first and only Princess cruise that we've been on. One of the complaints about the food was there was this beef, and it seemed like they were rehashing the beef over and over again, and there was nothing but beef.
And it wasn't good beef. It wasn't like it was prime rib being sliced. No, it was like beef tips, and then beef stew, and then curry beef stew, and then some more beef. Like it was just chunks of beef in brown sauce every day. So that was kind of crazy.
It was crazy. But now we flip over to this cruise on the Horizon with Carnival, and we noticed that there was a lot of pork.
If that's a problem for you, the chicken shortage is definitely being replaced with pork.
It was crazy. Now, the pork was pretty good.
Yeah, it was good. If you eat pork, it was good pork. But
there was a lot of pork.
It was pork. There was a lot of pork and everything. Pork sausages. There was pork loin, pork tenderloin, pork chops. Ground pork was in the ZD, so there was definitely a lot of excess pork, which
Yeah.
I know is a problem for some people. So
Definitely. And travel with Nick. So we've done a lot of Carnival cruises. I think this is my 28th or 29th Carnival cruise. And I think it's around 54 in total across all lines. Yeah, so, but we, I guess lately our Carnival, what is our Carnival mix? What would you say?
So we start out the year and we're like, we're not booking Carnival.
Yeah.
And then we book 4 Carnival cruises. So it's convenient. The price is good. We know exactly what we're going to get. I mean, whether you love it or hate it, Carnival is extremely consistent. Even on this cruise, we knew what we were getting and we got exactly what we expected.
Exactly. Yeah, the casino deals. It's really the casino deals. The casino deals are pretty good for me. It's going to be interesting to see what happens after this cruise based upon my play. But yeah, we seem to just go back to Carnival.
Yeah, we've had lots of Carnival cruises, lots of Norwegian cruises, several Holland America cruises, and then we've kind of been on MSC, Celebrity, Royal. We will probably have a lot more Royal Caribbean cruises because I've been getting casino offers there, and I'm fairly certain that they've just messed my card up with somebody else, and they're not getting their their cruise deals because they're giving them to me, but we're going to take them and use them. So that's exciting and fun stuff.
Yeah, Royal definitely in our future. And Zytec, mix of ages, like we said earlier, you may have missed it earlier in the stream, but basically I think we were skewing towards, high 30s and up? Maybe 40s?
Probably like 40s and up.
Yeah.
Primarily.
Yeah, it was definitely closer to our age, as we are early 50s, so.
And then not a lot of families, so that definitely pushed things a little older as well. So that was good.
Nice. We have, Travel with Nick, we have not stayed in the Havana yet. We currently have a Havana cabin.
We do have one booked.
But we don't know if we're actually going to follow through with it. We have one booked early next year on the horizon. And it's a pretty good deal, but we don't know if we're going to take it. One of the things that we noticed on this cruise, and this was our first time on the horizon as well, even though we were sailing at approximately 60% capacity, there were a couple of times and instances where, I don't know, it felt like there were some congestion issues as far as people being in one area. And I'm really not sure if I would like to deal with that with a at capacity ship.
Yeah, there were definitely several times that one or the other of us made the comment of, oh, I really wouldn't want to do this if the ship was full.
Right.
The Lido buffet area being one of them. It's a nice concept, the way they have it set up, where they have like the different food stations. However, getting around those food stations, you can only fit like 3 people to a little buffet area that they have. So they'll have like 4 little buffet areas, and you can only fit like 3 or 4 people comfortably in the line there before the lines start crossing over each other and running into each other, and you don't really know where you're going the line. Same for the deli. The deli line, I mean, we were not at capacity, but the deli line was wrapped out around the edge of the Lido one day. So,
and there's also, with that setup, and this is weird, and it's I think it's even worse with the deli. There's really no start and stop of a line, right? So the deli setup on the Horizon has typically had two people that were making sandwiches at the same time, but there wasn't clear. Should you form two lines coming in opposite directions and then people stand in the middle while they're waiting for their orders to complete? Should there be a single line and they're just going to, take people one after the other? There was nothing there to let anyone know. And the same thing goes for the buffet stations that Julie just mentioned. Where is the front and the back of the line?
Yeah, I think that would be a problem.
It's just a free-for-all.
With full capacity, for sure.
Yeah, so that was interesting, and I don't know if that's going to work out well. We had the same sort of situation on the Carnival Sunshine, which has a very similar, if not identical, layout. I may actually need to go and look at deck maps just to see if it's the same, but I think that's what they're going for with the Destiny class rekitting, which was Triumph to Sunshine.
Oh my gosh!
No, Destiny to Sunshine. And then Radiance, I think they're going to be the same.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll have to look at that, and maybe that'll be a subject for another video or stream.
So that is one of the things that's causing us to debate whether or not we will keep our next Horizon booking and the Havana. We have the Havana Cabana booked, so I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Let's see. The crew was really, really friendly, happy, great to be back, great service. All of the service everywhere was really good. People were super friendly. The maitre d's were really good.
Oh yeah, that was fantastic. So we had a weird issue with with a dinner reservation. So we only did one specialty restaurant. We probably wouldn't have done any at all, but I ended up getting a comp meal for the three of us for the last night, and it was in, what was that? What's the name of that restaurant?
Cucina del Capitano.
There we go. What she said. So the reservation was supposed to be for 8:30 p.m. Again, last night. And on the Hub app, I got several notifications the day of the reservation that basically said that the reservation had changed. And I didn't know what that meant. It was a notification. It even came over my Apple Watch. Like, hey, there's been, an update to your dinner reservation. Open the Hub app. So I opened the Hub app, and there it is. It's I've got a notification, and it just says it's been changed, and I can't click on the notification. There's no additional information. I go into the My Planner, and the reservation doesn't even show up. So I go up to the actual restaurant. What was that? Just before, right around lunch, I think it was, just to see what the heck is actually going on. And they were just like, oh, the change was that the casino is going to comp. It'll be free. I'm like, oh, okay, great. So I didn't worry about it not showing up in the Hub app. Then, what was it, approximately, so the dinner reservation was for 8:30, approximately 7:15, I get a notification on the Hub app again that says, your dinner reservation has been canceled. And I'm like, what? So we were returning Bella's
sensory kit
at guest services, and the Reflections restaurant was nearby. So I walked over to the Reflections restaurant, and the maitre d' was super nice, even though they were in the middle of the actual show for that dinner scene. He had me wait, and he did his part of the show. The show is still going on. He comes out and gets on the phone with the restaurant, basically explains what happens. He's looking at the app. He's trying to tap the update. Nothing's coming. Nothing's happening. He's like, okay, this is really weird. But it was. He basically fixed the problem. He addressed our issue, which basically the reservation was at the wrong time, and because it basically looked like we were no-shows, they canceled the reservation, but he had them reestablish it for the original time, and all was good. We actually saw him on Debarkation this morning while we were waiting in the restaurant, and he asked me how dinner was. It's like, well, I didn't even know who he was at the time, so it was really cool.
Yes, so the sensory kit. So the sensory kit is really cool. So I think I mentioned before, but Carnival has partnered with Culture City. They did autism and sensory training, but they also have a sensory kit that you can check out. And inside the kit, there is noise-canceling headphones. There are some fidget toys. There is an emotions card. And on the flip side of the emotions card, there's also things like I need a break, I need a quiet space, things like that that they can just point to instead of having to verbalize it if they're having a sensory overload. And then there's also a VIP ID lanyard, and that lanyard, if a person is wearing that lanyard, it basically alerts the crew that this is someone who has different sensory needs. And if any issues arise or the person needs assistance getting to a quiet area, or they're feeling uncomfortable and need some support, everybody on the ship has been trained. It also helped with the interactions with Bella. So previously, a lot of times, you'd be in the Lido, you finish eating, they'll just kind of come over and they're like, oh, can I take your plate? And they'll just take your plate. When they saw the lanyard, they would ask her if it was okay to take her plate, and then they would wait until she gave an answer, and then they would take the plate.
It was great. It was fantastic.
Checking in and out of things when, they had to scan her sail and sign card, same type of thing. They slowed down. They spoke softly and clearly. Is it okay if I take your card? Yes, okay. They scanned it and, slowed everything down, made sure the area was, calm. If there were any issues, separated us over to the side so we could have more space. And they just did it automatically. And it was everywhere on the ship that they all recognized that ID card. So Donkey, the cruise director, came over and spoke with her a couple times while we were waiting for the show. And he did a great job. Like, he got down to her level and, looked at her and kind of lowered. If you've seen Donkey, he's like on all the time. So he kind of, lowered his level and just had a nice conversation with her. So it's a really cool kit that they have, and you can sign it out for the duration of the cruise. And then the last night of the cruise, you can go back and sign it back in. And at that point, they also asked if we needed any sort of escort or extra assistance for getting off the ship. So really cool stuff that they're doing.
Yeah, we totally agree. That's another one of the kinks for us that makes like Carnival like, okay, wow, that they really stepped up in this area, and maybe that is enough for us to continue to just sail Carnival again. And
it's not like we don't have more Carnival cruises booked. We've got plenty booked.
Exactly.
So we also heard that service was slow in the main dining room. Yes. We did not step foot in the main dining room, so we can neither confirm nor deny. But we did hear the same thing, that things were slow there. So I'm kind of glad we skipped it.
Cool. I've traveled with Nick. Totally understand, and thank you so much for joining. And the replay will definitely be available. Have a good evening.
So let's see. John Heald. So John Heald was on the cruise with us.
Normal guy.
Yeah, I'd say he's exactly what you see is what you get with him. He's like a regular guy who loves his job and talking to people and meeting people. I actually had the opportunity to talk about Culture City and the training in the sensory kit on his Friday lunchtime walkies. So if you watch his Facebook Lives, you may see me on there talking about that. But yeah, really nice guy. He funny. He's a funny guy. He likes to make jokes. And super patient with people who treat him very not nicely. So he's a pretty spectacular guy.
Yeah, he's kind of like your British uncle.
Yeah.
Just fun-loving, cool, calm, goes with the flow.
Very approachable.
Yeah, super approachable. He took so many pictures. Oh my gosh, and so many impromptu conversations with people. It was pretty cool. I'm not a John Heald groupie myself, but he's a nice guy, and had an opportunity to say hello to him a couple of times. Yeah, that was awesome.
So the last day is always kind of the most stressful day, I guess. Whether it's packing the night before or getting off the ship. But I would say today, getting off the ship was really pretty smooth. Definitely smoother than I thought it was going to go. They did actually offer Diamond and Platinum priority, so that was a really nice thing to have. We got up early, met in the Reflections restaurant. They had Diamond on one side, Platinum on the other, and then guests with early flights were also in there. They cleared the ship at about 8 o'clock.
Yeah, it was about 8, yep.
And we were through security and outside the terminal by 8:15. So that went really quickly. A new thing that they're doing is facial recognition.
Right, which we did that. It's interesting. It's definitely the same system that we did on the Royal Caribbean cruise. I'm pretty sure. They look like the same sort of kiosk, but yeah, that was one of the only issues that I had. So we went in order of me first, because usually, I was prepared to, with I had all 3 of our passports, and prepared to basically go through the whole immigrations and customs situation as a family unit.
And we try to keep Bella between us so she's more comfortable.
Right. So I went first and immediately had to pull down my mask. They did the facial recognition. It worked perfectly for me. And then I stepped through and was waiting for Bella to actually go and do her thing. And I was immediately told to keep walking, basically. Just move, get out of the way. And I was not able to stay with my family and my special needs child, which was not nice. And I kind of got a little bit upset. Glad I kept everything under control, but
yeah, I'm glad he didn't have to be strip searched.
Yeah,
that
so I moved further away. Thankfully, Isabella could see both of us, and she, I guess, eventually went through. So I wasn't there to see what happened, but I guess she had some issues.
Yeah, both Bella and I had issues with our facial recognition. And that had to do, I'm sure, with our check-in process, which there were some snafus there. But so finally, her facial recognition went through, and the woman security officer was just like, "Okay, go find Daddy." And Bella just walked off through the terminal. And I'm still waiting, and I can't go behind her because now my facial recognition is not working, and Reggie's 100 yards down the road. And but it all turned out fine. Thankfully, Bella was totally cool with it. But it was just a weird situation that they didn't have anything in place to have families just kind of go through together. Exactly. Even though we were together at the station, as soon as you finished your facial recognition, they were like, just go, get out.
Right. And we had all of our luggage also. So that's the other thing. So the time that Julie mentioned of approximately 15 minutes, of the ship getting cleared to us being outside of the terminal, that's because we had the Platinum priority and we had all of our own luggage. If we hadn't had our own luggage, I don't know what the situation would have been. I think there would have been a lot more people involved. The carousels are right there. They may have made me go to a completely different area. So that's something that we're definitely going to provide some feedback to Carnival to let them know that, hey, you've done such a great thing with all the sensory stuff on board, but then everything kind of potentially falls apart once you actually get in the terminal. So I think that's something that they can work on.
Yep. So things that we liked and didn't like. So let's start with what we didn't like. What was your first thing that you didn't like?
So the last thing that I just talked about with the whole splitting families up at immigration customs check, they certainly need to work on that. That is one of my gripes. So what about you?
So for me, I didn't like the casino. It felt really small. It was very smoky, and it felt crowded. And like I said, it was another one of those times where it was not a full capacity ship. I'm not sure how you'd even get in there to play if the ship was full.
True.
Because it was very crowded and very difficult to find more than a single machine open at any given time.
Yeah, now on the flip side, on the tables. So I'm a table game player primarily. I did play some slot machines with Julie and Bella, but on the table side, one of the things that I did like is it seemed like they focused on bringing some of the more experienced dealers on board that may have been because of the elite cruise that was happening, but the dealers were very good. Very friendly, and it was a lot of fun. And another difference with table games, and this is one of the likes for me, was the casino and actually getting pretty good drink service.
Yeah, I had no drink service. None. Yeah. It was like playing the slots, you were not getting drink service. Or if you did, it was going to take like an hour for them to come back with a drink. And I heard some other people complaining about that as well. I get that there were short-staffed, but I'm not really certain that they have a whole lot more staff when they're full-staffed in there, because that has been an issue on other ships as well. But yeah, it wasn't even worth it to ask for a drink sitting at the games.
Yeah, that sucks. I will say that probably about half of the servers seem to be experienced and others seem to be like brand new. So we had, there were guys that were just coming up and, I tip, I definitely tip, and I'm sure that helps my drink service quite a bit, but, they already knew my folio number, and even, the ones that were brand new, they were having to write it down every single time and having me show the card, and they were also slower, even though I was tipping them as well. So that was definitely strange.
So are any of you casino players? You guys are you cruisers? Do you cruise? Do you go on Carnival cruises? Do you like to play in the casino? That's what I'd like to know. Do you have any tips?
Yeah, and with that also, any questions that you may have about this particular cruise that we may be able to add some clarity to or provide some information, certainly let us know.
So one of the other things that I had that was kind of both a like and a dislike. So they have started putting labels on the Lido buffet menus to indicate which items are vegetarian, which items are gluten-free, which I absolutely appreciate. However, several of the items that were marked gluten-free were not actually gluten-free. So while I appreciate the effort, the incorrect information could make things really rough for somebody who went by the actual labels on the menu. So I think it's a good start, but I think they need to really work on their accuracy. I didn't check the vegetarian items to see if those were also labeled correctly. But yeah, I would definitely recommend, even if you see a label on one of the Lido buffet menus, ask if you have a question. I mean, some of them I could clearly tell, like they had things like hush puppies that were labeled gluten-free, and I was like, I know they were in a shared fryer, number one, and number two, that is a fluffy ball of dough, and there's no way that something gluten-free got that fluffy and nice. So always ask, but I do appreciate the effort, but yeah,
and
it needs work.
I 100% agree that it could be very dangerous to people that have severe allergies. And, you know, Julie, being a fantastic cook, actually knows a lot more than probably your average person as far as ingredients or, you know, typical ingredients for different types of foods and preparation methods and such. So, you know, it was a lot easier for her. So, yeah, so that they definitely have some room for improvement there.
Yeah. Although that being said, there were quite a few gluten-free options available. We ate just fine, Bella and I, the entire cruise. We didn't get sick, no issues. So they did a good job with the actual food. So speaking of food and things that we liked.
Well, hold on. So going with the allergy thing.
Oh, are we jumping around?
Have you listed that someplace differently?
Have I listed the menu mate? I have.
Menu mate? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Another food thing that I liked is food delivery via the Hub app. So you can order food pretty much anywhere on the ship, and it's wonderful, and I loved it. A couple of times, Bella and I ordered chicken wings, which were delicious. We had them ordered to the Lido to have instead of any of the Lido options that were available. The delivery arrived in generally 20 minutes, and the food was hot and fresh, and yeah, it was really good. I enjoyed it. I think the wings are like $5.
Very inexpensive.
And you can order it through the app. Like I said, a little map will come up in the Hub app, and you can kind of indicate where you're sitting, and they bring it right to you. You can tip through the app as well, so it's really, really convenient, especially if you have, like, kids or picky eaters or something that you're like, okay, they're not going to eat anything that's available here. Let's just go ahead and order something and have that brought, and we can eat what we want. So.
And also eat with people that are just getting, like never got any of the wings. I just had food from the Lido area or upstairs at Gigi's that I brought downstairs. So that was really nice. And Miriam, no, they did not put staff at the buffet entrances or the head of the buffet lines at all.
And one thing we noted earlier, I don't know how long you've been here, Miriam, but one thing we noticed was there was a lot of pork on this cruise. It looks like they replaced the chicken shortage with pork. So I don't know how long that's going to go on, but point of reference, lots and lots of pork in all of the restaurants.
Right. Also, doesn't it seem like they had more fish options?
I don't know. I don't pay attention to fish, so I cannot confirm nor deny.
It seemed like there was at least fish almost every day.
Yeah, there was fish every day. There was at least one fish item at both lunch and dinner every day.
And the fish was actually pretty good.
I did eat some salmon. I didn't die. It was all right. Trying to expand my fish eating. Still not a fan, but I'll try it.
Yeah, it's cool. Okay, so other likes.
Yeah, shows. There is a new playlist production show called Vintage Pop. I really, really enjoyed it. It's a mashup of kind of old songs and new songs, which was pretty interesting. Lots of singing and dancing as opposed to the older version playlist productions where there was a lot more video stuff. They were really, the performers were working hard in this show.
Oh, yeah.
And they had really, really good singers. I don't know if you've been on Carnival, sometimes it's comical to go and listen to the singers. I mean, bless their hearts, but sometimes they're terrible. These were really, really good singers. So I enjoyed that show a lot. And we had really good comedians on board too. So they definitely brought the A-list comedians out for punchliners. So
BT was absolutely hilarious. Oh my gosh. For his family show, wow.
Yeah, he was really good. There was Percy Cruz too was on board. Manny Oliveira was on board. So if you've been around Carnival for a while, those are probably pretty recognizable, very funny guys.
Yeah. Now, I will say, we did attend the 18 plus show with Percy, and while it was funny, I do regret taking my 18-year-old daughter to that show.
We're definitely hoping that she's not going to repeat anything that she heard in that show. She's a big fan of comedy, so there's definitely the concern that she will let some of his jokes fly. So we'll see how that goes. That was interesting.
That was not appropriate at all.
And yes, the clubs are open. Everything's open. On Carnival, it is all open. There's no distancing. There is no limiting. It is a Carnival cruise, and it is open.
Fully open. Yeah. So, okay. So we already mentioned the Culture City. That is definitely a like. That's all, with all the training, the sensory kit, super cool. Definitely. So the next thing was, major like, was the Thrill Theater. That was fun. We did it once. And I had a good time. It freaked Bella out a bit, but I think it was put together really, really well.
So 1 to 5 rating. All right, I'll let you go first.
Oh my gosh! First cruise back, 1 to 5. I think I'm gonna go with a 4. I think a 4 is a very reasonable and legitimate rating, and I say 4 because, like we've said earlier, it's exactly what we expected, right? It was a Carnival cruise. I don't think they could have done much better than they did. I dropped a point off because it wasn't perfect. A 5 would have to be a near perfect cruise. And I just don't think that was possible. So that's me.
So I'm going to differ. I'm going to give it a 5 for the first cruise back because it was the first cruise back and I got everything I expected out of a Carnival cruise. I didn't miss anything. It was all there. And there were some new things that they added that were bonus and beneficial to me. So for me, it was a solid 5. Now, I will say in general, I don't give Carnival cruises 5s. So it's definitely not my favorite cruise line. So that's for it to be a 5, first cruise back, yeah, absolutely. They got a 5 with me.
Okay.
And yeah, Miriam, 21 and up. I think what ended up happening, so this was a 7:30 show. So I didn't think it was going to be as adult as it was. It was not the late night show, which I expect. But I think because there were so few families on board, that they only did one family show. They were supposed to do sort of an intermediate 18 and up show, and then like the late night full-on adult show. I think by the time we went to the 7:30 show, it was the adult full-on show because they were like, well, there's only like 10 kids on board, so don't bring them.
Right. Right. Exactly. And so you know what? So we mentioned earlier, we felt completely safe on board, and that's primarily because we've already been kind of out in the world, the raw, unwashed world.
And we live in Florida,
Yeah.
so things have been wide open here for quite some time. And we've been fully vaccinated and just out mask-free in theme parks and things like that. So, yeah, I mean, we're kind of used to normal, but we also understand people that haven't been in that environment, why you might have some more concern about it.
And we're also all fully vaccinated.
Yeah.
So I don't believe that we would have gone on this cruise.
Oh, there is no way. If I was unvaccinated, I would
Right.
not have been on this cruise.
Yes.
So yeah, so if that's the two levels of comfort, heck no, wouldn't be bringing my unvaccinated kid either.
Exactly.
Nope, absolutely not.
Right.
Quest, yep, Quest, they still had the Quest. Everything you expect from Carnival, you'll get it.
It was there. Yeah. 100%. 100%. Yeah. So okay, let's see. So I already mentioned the casino as one of my likes. So back to Cucino del Capitano. The food was amazing. Absolutely amazing. It was very good. We had this even roasted broccoli and cauliflower, which I do like both of those vegetables. Holy crap, it was really good. It was really good. I had a tomahawk pork chop.
It was
More pork.
more pork, yeah. It was kind of ridiculous, his pork chop.
It was huge, and it was absolutely fantastic. It was perfectly cooked, and I enjoyed it quite a bit.
And they do have Italian food there, so I was impressed with what they were able to do for gluten-free. So Belle and I had Caesar salads, which were gluten-free. She took the big salad and made me eat the small salad, which kind of sucked because it was good. But she also had, they have gluten-free spaghetti, and she had that with Alfredo sauce, which was delicious, and clearly fresh-made Alfredo sauce for her. And I had the short rib, which was also delicious, just melt in your mouth beef. So really enjoyed that. And then they also said that for dessert that the chef would have made tiramisu, gluten-free tiramisu for us, which I didn't try because I just don't eat a lot of desserts, and I had already had some bread and pasta. So,
And it was also at the end of an extremely long dinner.
Yeah, I'll let you talk about our journey through dinner.
Should you?
Maybe not.
I don't know.
So we ended up having very slow service, and I don't fault the restaurant at all. What ended up happening was our reservation happened to coincide with the dining reservation of the captain, the president of Carnival Corporation, the president of Carnival Cruise Lines, their families, all of the senior bigwigs that were on board were eating in one group at the same time that we had our reservation. And I mean, understandably, first cruise back, all those people on board, the servers, the chef, everybody was focused on that table. I mean,
yeah, it's literally your boss's 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 boss.
Right.
And their boss. We're all eating in the freaking restaurant.
Yeah.
So I get it. But I was still annoyed.
And they were apologetic, but the rest of us that were in the restaurant were just kind of sitting waiting for a very, very long time for our food.
Yeah.
But it was worth the wait.
It was.
I wouldn't have normally wanted to wait that long. And like I said, they were very apologetic. The chef came out and apologized. We ended up with a bottle of wine. So it was just they made a good experience
Yeah.
out of a bad situation.
Exactly. Yeah. And I even calmed down at the end, which is really, I 100% will go back and eat at the Italian specialty.
We have to go back because he was angry eating. And I was like, I think the food is better than you're saying it is because you're pretty angry.
I was definitely angry, without a doubt. Okay, so let's see. Miriam asked if there were any COVID incidents on board. I don't believe there were.
Yeah, none that we heard of. No COVID incidents. Hey, Gary, good to see you. Thanks for stopping in, Gary. No bar in the casino. So we have not been on the ship, like a Horizon or Vista ship, when there was a bar in the casino. So it really didn't make any difference to us. I can't imagine having a bar in the casino being a good thing because it was already way too crowded in there. And the sports bar is literally like right next door. So,
yeah, it's really close.
I mean, I didn't miss having a bar in the casino.
Well, because mostly the bar and let's just break it down. For those that have not been on Carnival cruises, the bar in the casino is basically the smokers' hangout. That's where people go to smoke. And they're not playing games in the casino. They're literally there to smoke and drink, and that's it. So actually taking the bar out from our perspective as non-smokers probably reduced the amount of smoke in the actual casino itself. And
yeah, but it didn't. And here's why.
Except by the tables.
Nope.
The tables for me were so much less smoky.
Oh yeah, you were fine by the tables. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
After the first day, clearly people who are used to the casino bar and going there to smoke were confused. So they just started putting in some high top tables with ashtrays around the new slot machines.
That was weird.
Where the casino bar used to be, because really apparently people expected to be able to smoke in that circular section. So that part kind of sucked. And I didn't understand it at first, and then I saw people that were just standing at the high top tables around the slot machine smoking. So
right. Including the gentleman that was in swim trunks with no shirt on. And I mean, I'm a big boy. I fully admit it. I mean, all of this. But he was big, and all of his belly was just hanging out. And I just like, are you kidding me? This is insane. Wow.
I didn't see all that.
Well, but
I missed it.
Like, hey, Carnival. The things you see on Carnival.
Yeah.
It was pretty amazing.
So Miriam, we're booked on NCL for December 2 and really hoping that they get their act together and start ships moving.
Yeah.
For sure.
Without a doubt. So,
yeah, the Bar and the Magic is a much better situation in the casino.
Yes.
And the Magic Casino in general is a much better situation.
It's bigger.
It's bigger, it's more spacious.
Yeah.
And that bar, like you said, it's kind of on the edge. This bar in the Horizon was just would have been just smack in the middle of the casino, just doing nothing but taking up space.
It's very strange. And I think a lot of it has to do with, there's only an entrance there's only one entrance in and out of the casino. So on the Magic, you can go from the casino to the sports bar and then out, to other parts of that deck. Or you can go through the middle, main entrance as well.
And enter from the side.
And enter from the side. So there's three?
Yeah, but on this, it's just
yeah.
like a pass-through down the middle of the casino.
It's just a pass-through. So it's very, very bizarre. So, NCL for August out of Miami. You'll definitely have to let us know how that goes. Very interested in what the protocols are going to be for NCL. Hopefully they won't be as hush-hush about it as information for the Prima. I mean, isn't the ship already sailing? I mean, isn't it ready to go?
No, it's not finished. That's why there's no information.
When is it supposed to sail?
Yeah.
Okay. No picture. I mean, just pictures, like artist renderings.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
That's not done yet.
That's a whole different rant.
It's fine.
Another cruise line.
Yep.
Yeah, so okay. Anyway. All right, so let's see. We had some questions.
So we covered the first one, and we get asked it a lot. Did we feel safe? Yes. We felt very safe.
Yep, incredibly safe. As vaccinated people, fully vaccinated family. Oh, Miriam asked, are they accepting cash in the casino? And yes, 100%, nothing's changed.
Yep.
So cash is cash.
So we had Joel ask us what the process was for verification at embarkation because he lost his vaccination card. Yes, they are absolutely checking vaccination cards at the first security point when you go to check in. You will not be getting in the building without your vaccination card or your exemption letter. So the good news is Joel can go back and either go back to the location where you get vaccinated, or you can also contact your state health immunization department and get a replacement card. But yeah, you definitely need that card. If you're going on a cruise that requires vaccination, you will need that card to verify.
Yep. Several people in our Facebook group for this cruise have had issues and had to go get cards redone. And no, Miriam, they will not take a photo of the card. It has to be the original card.
Yep.
Yeah, and yes, you generally can call the facilities that where you receive your vaccination, but in instances like where we got our vaccinations, that is not possible because it was a FEMA pop-up site that was run in conjunction with the state of Florida. So you would have to contact the state of Florida for that, for people like in our situation. Okay. And my sister Robin asked for information about the gluten-free food situation, which we've been through that as well. So there are options. Julie did not starve, so it's a good thing.
And I will get hangry. I'm one to get hangry.
Absolutely.
Bella as well. So we had no issues with gluten-free foods. Really enjoyed Guys Pig and Anchor. All of the meats.
That was fantastic.
All of the meats and all of the sauces there are gluten-free, so that's fantastic. Yeah, lots of good options.
Very flavorful. The Guys Pig and Anchor was fantastic. It was much better than I expected. Much better. Very flavorful, nicely seasoned, everything. And
then kind of piggybacking on that, Marvin on Facebook had said that John Heel posted a sign that says menu mate for allergy dining assistance and wanted to know if I knew what that was about. So it took me a while to figure out what that was about. It is not an app. There were a lot of people that thought it was a new app. It is not. It is actually a person or persons who are staged at a podium outside of the Lido Buffet. And there's a sign there that says, allergy dining assistance. So great. I'm still not completely sure how it's supposed to work.
Neither are the people that were stationed at those podiums.
No, but bless them, they were going to help me
they looked
find
very
some
nervous,
food.
When I approached to ask a question, like, oh gosh, they're going to actually expect me to know something about food allergens.
Yeah, so it wasn't clear what their purpose was other than to be helpful. So I had gone and asked one of the situations where I kind of figured that the Lido Buffet menu, it listed cheesy turkey meatballs as being gluten-free. And I was like, I can't believe that these meatballs are gluten-free, but I'm going to go ask. So I went to the menu mate and asked, and she had no idea if they were gluten-free or not. And so she then went and called the chef, who said, no, they're not gluten-free. And she said, no, they're not gluten-free. And I said, oh, well, you know that on the menu, it says that they're gluten-free. And she's like, well, no, I just checked with the chef and they're not gluten-free. And I was like, no. What I'm saying is, you need to take that menu down because someone is going to think it's gluten-free and they're going to get sick eating those. And she was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah, it's not good.
thank you for the information. So she didn't really know what on the buffet was safe or not. I think their main purpose was to go there and just order whatever you want to eat, and they will make it happen.
It has to be, because even though, like you said, they didn't know what, they were on the Lido, stationed in the Lido, and they didn't know about the food that's in the Lido.
Not a
and
clue.
They're supposed to be the allergy food people.
But she very quickly whipped out a little card and a pen and was ready to write down whatever I wanted and would get it from the chef. So I think if you want to order things that they generally have, chicken, different types of meat, French fries, any of the sides that you want to get, you could order them just like you do in the main dining room. I think you can also place main dining room orders with them instead of having to go to the dining room to do that.
But not for the signature restaurants. So the signature specialty dining, that's the reason why I approached the podium, was to find out what sort of gluten-free food options were going to be available in the Italian restaurant for our reservation that night. She had zero information about that. She suggested that I go to the restaurant and ask. And I'm wondering, like, why are you here?
Yeah, they were very nice, but I'm not sure. I don't think they knew what their real purpose was other than to place an order for food. But they didn't have menus or anything for me to look at to order food from. So, that was a little weird. But I think they're trying, and I think it'll get better. And I like the concept of the person there. So I think,
fantastic.
So I think once they get everybody trained up and figure out what's what, it'll work out well. But it was just kind of comical that we were both looking at each other like, I was like, I don't know what I'm asking you. And she was like, well, I don't know what I'm going to tell you. So thanks for being here.
Yeah, exactly. And thanks for trying. I mean, it is a structure, right? The fact that they have a structure in place that they can actually work with to improve, I think is, an acknowledgement that they know that there is something that needs to be done, and they're trying their best to work their way into a solution that's going to work.
Yep.
So that's really good.
So Kevin wanted to know what the drinks are like and if there's any testing required while boarding.
Yeah, so for vaccinated guests, there is no testing that is required at all. We took zero test to board or disembark the ship.
There is an exception to this rule. If you have been out of the country within the past 14 days, fully vaccinated or not, you will have to take a test before boarding the ship. And that includes back-to-back passengers. So there were quite a few cranky passengers this morning who were doing the back-to-back, who are fully vaccinated and found out as they got off the ship that they were then going to have to take a COVID test prior to being allowed back on board the ship. So that is one thing to note. If you have been out of the country either on the previous cruise, on a different cruise, you will be taking a test.
Yep. And all, of course, all unvaccinated guests had to be tested. And we did see, like one of the families that was at the station next to ours while we were having our vaccination cards checked, I saw them shuffle off, with their kids to be tested as we continue to walk on and go up the escalator and board the ship.
Yep. So Three Below had asked us, is the Wi-Fi on Horizon any good?
Oh, gosh. And I responded to this one, on the comments on the video, but very difficult to say. It really depends on your application, right? It's almost with anything. And Julie will start to give me side eye when I get long with my answer here. But bottom line is, for most basic usage, the premium Wi-Fi package that we had was pretty good. One of the things that, or there are several things that were annoying about it though. So one of the things that I was basically banking on, because it's worked this way for every other Carnival cruise in recent history over the past 5-6 years, is Wi-Fi calling. So if you have a phone and a cellular carrier that actually supports Wi-Fi calling, generally when you're on board, if you have one of the higher tiered Wi-Fi packages, Wi-Fi calling works. So you can actually send regular SMS text messages, you can actually make phone calls, and all for free, basically, using your the Wi-Fi calling feature with your phone carrier, which that works for most places. That was not working whatsoever. I was able to use iMessage. People were able to use FaceTime. All of those things worked fine, but those are purely data situations. I tested streaming with Netflix, HBO Max, something else. But all of that stuff worked. No issues. I was not able to do a speed test. I think they blocked the URLs for that. And I also was not able to connect to any type of VPN. And I tried both IPsec and OpenVPN, which basically means that most people's corporate VPN connectivity will not work on board with the way that the firewalls are currently set up. So I'm an advanced user, and although there were a couple of things that I could have tried if I had been prepared, it's limited. It's limited. So, long story short, it really depends on the applications that you're trying to use.
There you go.
There you go. So what else do we have?
I think we covered all. We talked about, did you do well in the casino?
I think I did well because I pretty much was down only a couple $100 for the entire time. And I think I got a lot of points. So I would say the casino was fairly generous to me.
I would say the casino was good. Bella and I, so this is Bella's first time in the casino. She is now a casino lover. She's pretty hilarious in the casino because if she's not winning, she just yanks her card out and she's ready to go to the next one. So
That is funny.
she had a very good time. At one point, she was just like, "Woo!" All the people around her were like, "Yeah!" So she was a blast. And we came home with more money than we went with. So I would say that's a good trip to the casino.
Yeah, exactly. So we all basically gambled every day. And I think with the few dollars that you guys made and the few that I lost, we were pretty much zero. So that's success.
Yep, absolutely.
In the casino. Oh, tidbits on VPN access. So right now, it is the way that the firewalls are set up. It will not work. 100% will not work. So if you use something like Cisco AnyConnect VPN to get into your company, you will not be able to do that on Carnival, at least on the Carnival Horizon right now. I don't know if they are implementing the firewall rules the same across the entire fleet, but that is 100% different. So Citrix may actually work. So if you use Citrix VDI, is that what it is? I know there's a little bit of lag. Citrix may actually work because it uses an SSL connection.
It sounds like
HTTP.
a great topic for Read Tech.
Possibly. Okay, there's a chance that would work, and unfortunately I did not try that. I do have access to a Citrix VDI setup, and yeah, I will try that on I'll put that on the list of things to try on upcoming cruises.
Yeah, we do have a list of cruise tech topics that we're actually going to cover on our other channel. Because
Yes.
we know people are definitely interested. We learned a lot, especially live streaming and all that fun stuff. So we will definitely have some information to share there.
Yeah, we will go over the entire streaming stack of basically what we used. And there are some really good low-cost options that I think people will be very interested in. Yeah, it works nicely.
Yep. When is our next cruise?
Well, soon.
It is soon. We will be cruising next month. We will be on Allure of the Seas.
Oh, I thought we weren't going to actually say that. Okay.
You
Allure of the Seas.
You said if somebody asked. We are going on Allure of the Seas in August.
From Port Canaveral, thank goodness.
Yes.
Because I really hate driving up and down the turnpike to Miami.
Yeah,
It can be a pain.
It's
Although
amazing how
it's really
spoiled
good.
you get when you move to Florida. Like first it was like, oh, we got to fly to get to a port to go on a cruise. And then we moved to Florida and we're like, oh, now we have to drive to Miami to get on a cruise when we could just be in Port Canaveral or Tampa in like an hour. So.
Yeah. Yes, Royal Caribbean, Miriam, yes.
Yep.
And it will be our second Royal Caribbean ship, and it is. Thank you for the other channel subscription. It'll be our second Royal Caribbean cruise. The first one I don't think really counts because it was on one of their.
It was a beginner starter ship. We'll call it that.
I was going to say tugboat class.
It's a starter ship.
Tugboat class.
It was really fun though, so I'm looking forward to it. Apparently, I did well in the casino. I don't know when that happened, but yeah, really looking forward to Allure. Some fun things that we've got going on there. They've got some really interesting cabins. So we've got a really cool cabin.
If we don't upgrade,
Then it'll be an even cooler cabin. An even cooler cabin. So yeah, we're looking forward to it. Lots of fun things to do on that ship.
yeah, agreed.
But yeah, so we're going to try and keep up our weekly chats and keep everybody posted on what we're doing, what we're planning. And, you know, we're regular people, so we have regular life. So we'll talk about that stuff too. People have been asking me about food stuff again, so I will be doing more food reviews and things of that nature on the channel. But yeah, we're hoping to do a weekly chat. So thank you all so much for joining in and for subscribing to our channel. Again, we are on the road to 1,000 subscriber challenge. So
Oh my gosh.
that is our goal. There are so many things that are holding us back right now. So we will keep putting out content, and hopefully people will keep liking it, and tell your family, tell your friends.
Definitely. Great. Again, thanks for everything.
Yep.
Everybody.
All right. Awesome. See you next week.